Welcome to an
Take your
all
time. You, you got this.
right.
We're gonna be on CNN one day. Take your time.
Yeah, right. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
Go on
welcome
with
to
it.
another episode. All right. Welcome to another episode of Nick's Amazon Gifts, sponsored by Better Refunds. And that's pretty much it. All right. We are here with Nick, who has a very surprising topic I was not expecting. Nick, would you like to tell the audience what topic we're going to be discussing today?
Amazon Prime Day.
All right. So I'm assuming it doesn't mean that we get a bunch of Optimus Primes. Prime Day is basically when almost everything is on Prime, correct?
Correct.
Or
Just
no?
about everything. Just about everything. Not everything, but just about
Okay.
everything.
What's different for the consumer between regular Prime and Prime Day?
Prime, regular Prime, you have your features that really is included in that. You have your, different types of shipping options,
Right.
discounting, everything that really comes into your actual Prime package. And then Prime Day is the largest holiday out of the year, bigger than Black Friday, bigger than Cyber Monday, put together. It's an Amazon specific holiday that's geared towards Amazon customers to give them the best deals on many products across the electronics, clothing, beauty categories. Just about everything on actual Prime Day will actually be on sale. It's typically a 2-day event, and Amazon has in recent years has a summer version of that, and also has a fall version of that. It's called a 2.0 version.
Okay, gotcha. So when is Amazon Prime Day this year?
So Amazon always plays that cat and mouse game. Basically, they don't really start to release the actual date until we actually get closer to it. But based on previous years, just last year, Prime Day was on the July 11th and July 12th. So we can predict that Prime Day 2024 or Prime Days will be around that same time frame as well.
So hold on a
They
second.
always
So
play
you're
that cat
telling
and
me
mouse.
that if it's on, so last year was on July 11th, you said,
And 12.
and 12th. So this year I should make sure to do all my shopping inside of a 7-Eleven while getting my Slurpee. Is that what I'm hearing? No.
You can
Okay.
do that.
All right, fine. No. Okay. So basically why I'm asking you all this stuff, right, is because Prime Day for consumers is phenomenal, right? You get stuff pretty much next day delivery within 2 days. It's glorious, right? But what exactly does Prime Day mean for FBA sellers and vendors, right? Like is there any differences? Because as far as I'm aware, one, Amazon chooses who's on Prime, right? Not every single product can be on Prime. So even if your company, may have, access to Prime, it doesn't necessarily mean that your products are going to be on Prime because Amazon decides that. Not only that, but it also comes out of the FBA seller fee, correct? So what exactly do Amazon FBA sellers have to look forward to on Amazon Prime Day, or what should they be looking out for?
Okay. So when it comes to Amazon 1P and the 3P marketplaces, you have your Seller Central and you have your Vendor Central and brands that sell through one or the other or both, hybrid approach. This right here is the biggest opportunity out of the year on Amazon since it's the largest holiday that Amazon has basically created. I believe it started back in 2015. I remember that Amazon's very first Prime Day, which was like launch. And then every Prime Day after that was incredibly uh, growing year by year. So, for 1P and 3P, so this is an opportunity to drive revenue um, and not only for the actual brand, but also to give customers the opportunity to snatch, items that they've been, maybe looking for, especially in what we call, we're in a challenging economy. So customers are looking for, opportunities to get this, products with discounted prices. Typically on Prime Day, we see discounts that range between 5, 10, 20, 25, 30% of discounting on average. And then you have some products that may be discounted a little bit higher than that. But this right here is the opportunity to drive revenue. And typically, and when you bridge the Prime Day with that of actual the Prime subscription, Prime members actually get the biggest opportunity to see a lot of those discounts. Amazon does this very huge marketing and branding blitz once they announce the actual day to let those Prime members know, what products are going to be on discounted, what are you can look at because what Amazon and a lot of retailers have been moving to is not only maximizing those Prime days, getting a lot of customers, driving
Yeah.
revenue on those Prime days, but also driving revenue leading up to those 2 days as well. They're trying to milk it as much as they can milk it to drive as much revenue as possible. That's Amazon. That's how Amazon does it. So
Mm.
they can look forward to when it comes to 3P and 1P brands. Not every brand, I've worked with brands that don't necessarily see a bump on Prime Day. I work with friends that on their own, and they don't necessarily take advantage of some different deal opportunities that they can have on Prime Days. So some brands benefit more than others. Prime Days for every brand is an opportunity to drive your revenue on Amazon.
Although people look forward to Prime Day because it's just a wonderful opportunity for people to get a bunch of other products that they may not necessarily be getting through Prime, or maybe there's some discounts, this, that, whatever. Although more products are still going to be sold on this day, I still have a feeling though that there might be a negative impact for 1P and 3P due to the fact that one, their fees, two, maybe they're going to be discounting the prices, which doesn't necessarily mean, increased revenue, right? Just because you give a discount on a price doesn't necessarily mean that more people are going to buy it. But
Right.
also it depends on obviously the product and the category and stuff. How should FBA sellers and vendors prepare for Amazon Prime Day in order to make sure that in profits go up? I'm over here. Profits go up instead of profits going down due to all of these wonderful things that Amazon is doing, but aren't necessarily super wonderful for the FBA sellers and vendors.
Okay. So preparation for Prime Day is the key to success for Prime Day, and you prepare in multiple different ways. Now, obviously, you're very correct when when brands are looking at okay, what products we're going to discount. Some products don't make sense to discount because it may run negative. Some products may not have the margin to discount it at and we know typically. To see the highest return on a discounted price on Amazon, you really have to discount that price at about 20, 25, 30% just to see a type of unit velocity that you need to see in order to run profitable for those days. And not every brand has the margin to actually do that. So that's why it's important to start preparing to see what products we're gonna include. Some products we're just gonna hey, it's gonna just gonna be a normal day, and then other products is gonna be well maybe we'll be able to discount these prices with a sales price or with a coupon offer. Or we may want to participate in deals and promotions that Amazon runs very heavily on the Prime days and leading up to Prime days. So you have the opportunity to run a lightning deal. You have the opportunity to run deal of the day. You have the opportunity to run all types of different types of deals and promotions that Amazon offer. But at the end of the day, you got to sell a certain amount of those products for it to actually make sense, for your business. So I spent a lot of time, working to see does it make sense, or a lot of the brands that I've worked with, does it actually make sense to participate in Prime Day? And yes, it does. But every product may not be the type of product that you want to discount on Prime Day because of those reasons we just listed. So you have to look at the analytics. You have to look at the margin on your products for your category to determine how does that fits your product. And then in addition to that, not only to different types of pricing strategies, which we are just talking about there, but there's also different types of product detail page strategies and advertising strategies that's really key to success on Prime Day. I've seen a lot of 1P and 3P sellers leading up to Prime Day. They're going hard, so hard that they're almost out of budget, advertising budget when it comes to their products by Prime Day because they ran so hard leading up to Prime Day So you have to also, when it comes to advertising, you have to figure out a way to actually balance your advertising spend because as soon as Amazon announced that Prime Day is going to be on X, Y, or Z, then you're going to see a ton of traffic hit that platform. Amazon customers are coming up there, they're adding things to their Amazon baskets. They're out there looking. They're what they're looking at their wish list. They're looking at, well, I got to get mama a new pair of diamond earrings, or I got to get my son a new pair of pants. So there and in the challenging economy, I'm going to Amazon to do that, which is the right thing to do. But so you have to balance that very carefully. And when it comes to your advertising spend, you have to make sure that you have enough advertising spend and spending wisely so that you don't burn out an advertisement spend or burn your entire marketing budget before you even get to the main 2 days of Prime Day. So that is a key strategy because I've seen it. It costs the key. I've seen the price of advertising. It costs more to do advertising these days versus previous days. Being able to properly manage and budget your marketing on Amazon as it pertains to advertising is key to preparing for Prime Day. And then in addition to that, is making sure your product detail pages, the most important place on Amazon. Make sure those are up to par. If you have any issues with rogue sellers, taking control of your images or your products online, you need to be working to get that solved right now because you don't want some rogue seller misrepresenting your product online or potentially stealing your sales due to whatever on Prime Day, because this is the opportunity for you, the brand, 1P, 3P, to maximize your revenue. So you don't want anyone interfering with that or any rogue sellers doing anything wrong to your product listings leading up to that. But some of that is out of your control. So that's why you have to take this time now, because we know Prime Day is coming sometime in July. We know that based on previous years. So this is the time that it takes to actually get all of that resolved now. And then more importantly, one of the biggest strategies to prepare for Amazon Prime Day is inventory forecasting. If you don't have the inventory, you can't drive revenue. A person told me a long time ago, if you ain't got the product, you can't get the sale. So forecasting, potentially what that demand is going to look like for your items, for your brand, and for your category on Prime Day. And Amazon is already sending out hey, you need to have this inventory at Amazon by this certain amount of time, or you run the risk of it not being here or being received by this, or we might charge you for something like that too. They do that too. So inventory forecasting is key. It's key. And not every brand, knows how to do inventory forecasting when it comes to Amazon. They can forecast for Walmart. They can forecast for their brick and mortar account. But when it comes to Amazon, I've seen a ton of brands like, we just don't know how to do it. We don't know how to take into consideration because there's so much to take into consideration on Amazon when it comes to inventory forecasting. You've got to take it like we were just talking about deals and promotion, which is a potential strategy that you could use to drive revenue. You have to have inventory just to run those type of sales. Amazon is not going to let you participate in any of those deals if you have a bad history with keeping inventory in stock at Amazon. They're not going to do it because Amazon sees you as a risk at that point. They see you as a risk, and they want to drive revenue. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to pick some other brand over your brand to participate in that deal because you got too many risks that comes with that. So being able to properly forecast for those different reasons for deals and promotions, you already know you're going to see in advertising, you're going to be running that, so you're going to have to account for that. And you're also going to have to just be able to account for, what type of sales velocity that you do on a normal day. So all of that is important, and that's why it's much more trickier to do forecasting or demand planning for that Amazon because there's a lot of things to take into consideration. But I've been doing this for years. I can help brands either way do it already. So it's pretty easy. I've just been doing it for a long time. I know the ins, I know the outs. It all comes down to analytics and data in order to get those things done. When it comes to Prime Day, one of the things that I will share a secret on is one of the things that I did in my past. when it comes to Prime Day and leading up to Prime Day, it's all hands on deck for me. I set up a whole command center, got 2 monitors, 3 monitors going on, so I can monitor. I'm like the FBI or the CIA, and they're like something's going on.
You combine both the FBI and and CIA, and now you're the FBA.
That's a good one. So I'm in there monitoring everything. I set up this whole big command center. I might be in the office from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 or 8 o'clock at night. Just kind of watching everything, driving demand. If there's any issues coming up, I'm in the one in there, right in the time, right in that moment, resolving those issues. Because like I said earlier, this is the biggest holiday out of the year for most friends. And this is definitely the biggest holiday out of the year for Amazon, bigger than Black Friday, Cyber Monday put together. So you don't want to miss any sales velocity on these days. You don't want to do that. So if it takes having someone there to, in like a little command center, I just, that's just what I do, to see the results that I want to see. Not everybody does that, but I do that. So that's a secret that I'll give, and I do that to drive demand in a lot of different things, so that when those days are up, and I go back, we say, well, what were our sales for? They say we had this amount of sales, we had that amount of sales. We was thinking we was going to get 4 million, but by Nick staying there for that long, I got an extra 2 million. So we got 6 million total. Was that good? That was great.
That's amazing. Wow, I would love that. Can I have that 2 million? No, stop. I'm just joking. But all right. So I'm assuming, based off of what you just said, Amazon FBA sellers and vendors also don't know when Prime Day is then. Is that correct? Like they don't get any advance notice whatsoever?
No, they don't. If you're part of the now I do know here's another thing that Amazon is starting to do, and I'll tell you why they're doing it as well. Now SaaS Core is it's a premium program that you pay for. You pay a little bit more for, or you can have an account manager or something. You pay, I think it's like $60,000 to $75,000 additionally. I think it's like a year, and you pay for this right here. There's different names that they call it, but you get a little bit more information. That's why Amazon makes you pay for it. You get some services, some extra services, or some better services. But they actually give you a little bit more heads up information versus so say, for example, if you have something called SaaS Core, they give you a little bit more notice on certain things, especially when it comes to Prime Day, leading up to that. But for the most part, every 1P, 3P seller, they're just like, they don't know. Amazon keeps that very close. They keeps it on one team. Basically, once that team announces it, it's out in the open. But until it's announced, they hold that information really tight, so everyone finds out around the same time. But we know Prime Day 2023. Before that was around the same time frame, July 2023. It was July 11th and July 12th. So we know for certain that Prime Day 2024 is going to be around that time frame as well. We just don't know specifically what day yet, but it'll be somewhere around that
Wouldn't
frame.
you think that Amazon would provide that information, especially to the 1P, right? Who is supplying Amazon with Amazon's products, that Amazon sells as itself. Wouldn't you think that they would, tell them in advance so that these companies can actually prepare, sign whatever documents you need in order to even if word spills, like it's not the biggest deal because people are still going to buy, Mind you, Amazon probably doesn't tell people in order to give that, that nice little like shock thing. Oh no, it just started. They just announced it. I have to buy on this day. It adds maybe a little pressure. But I don't know. I feel like for those providing the service, they should at least get it beforehand. Can you enlighten me on this a little more?
I'm gonna tell you the way that I told someone else because they were asking the same question. They was asking some different questions about Amazon too. But you know what? Amazon is the king of the castle, and they do what they want to do. But they've been doing this right here for years. When it comes to that, and they send out certain pieces of information, like one piece of information that they'll send out well in advance, even before they actually announce the dates. They basically send out an email like Prime Day is coming, X, Y, and Z, without the specific day. You need to start, here are certain dates. You need to start preparing your inventory. Now, for the more advanced deals, and we talked about deals and promotions earlier, for the more prominent deals and prominent deal placements, Amazon starts coordinating that way in advance. So you might 2, 3 months in advance. So you get
Okay.
certain pieces of information. You just don't get the actual date until they actually announce it because they have to have this right here locked and loaded for actual Prime Day. So they send out key pieces of information as it pertains to inventory stock up, and they send out key pieces of information, especially when it's you're talking about deals of the day that run, and lightning deals that runs for a good portion of the day that is really good at driving sales for certain brands, and and everyone wants to have a slot. Everyone wants to. A lot of brands wants to participate in those type of deals, but Amazon only has certain amount of slots. So they start sending out that information way in advance to see who wants to participate, and then they actually choose who's actually going or select who's going to actually participate.
What can a vendor and seller do to ensure that they are selected?
Well, when it comes to being selected, just for example, for like different types of deals or things like that, when it comes to that, that's not guaranteed because Amazon has requirements, and it's a really good question because this right here gets to the behind the scenes of how Amazon works. That's the part I like talking
Right.
about there. So they have like different qualifications and requirements, like something's called a T60 or T30, and it's basically you're trailing, how your inventory look, for the past 30 or 60
Right.
days, or how your sales look for a particular 30 to 60 days. At the end of the day, when you can run these deals right here. The process to get these deals approved outside of normal, of Prime days or major holidays is a little bit easier. But for holidays like Prime Day, right, it's a little bit more harder because Amazon wants to drive revenue, and they're really good at doing that. And how they do that is they select the brands that are going to. So, say for example, if you have 100 brands that say we want to participate in Amazon Prime Day deals of the day, Amazon is only going to they're going to look at all of those submissions, and they're going to determine based on some of those qualifications and even more qualifications, which brands are actually going to participate in these deals. Because, like I said, they only have a certain amount of slots, and then out of those slots, Amazon wants to drive revenue, they wants to improve profitability, and more importantly, they want to give their customers exactly what they want. Amazon puts the customer before anyone,
Right.
for anything, and that's what's leading to their success. As a side note, you have to, take that into consideration when you're doing, because it's not guaranteed. I've submitted, products for brands. A lot of them that have gotten approved, and I've submitted, products for deals. I'm like, no, you was not selected, but you can participate in this over here, or you can run your own type of, promotional deal. Just make sure it's Amazon specific. But you will not be able to participate in these deals over here very nicely. So Amazon, they have a team. They never tell you, but they have a team that's dedicated just to that deals and promotions and things of that sort. So they have a team that really goes through the inner workings of every brand, that really goes into to look at all the numbers. Amazon is big on performance. They're big on numbers. So they're looking at all of that to determine, what brands are going to go participate. I guess it's a fair game because everyone gets to submit an application, if you want to say that. But at the end of the day, they're going to select who's going to actually that you're actually going to be what days they're going to actually be running deals leading up to Prime Day and actually on Prime Day and even days after Prime Day.
Okay. So, with that in mind, we have it where, as an FBA seller or vendor, you don't know if you're going to be selected. You don't know what day it's going to happen. But as a business, you should always make sure in any event that your inventory is in stock, that your, product detail page especially is top notch, and a bunch of other things too, I'm assuming. But if we're assuming that Prime Day is going to be in July, is that really enough time for people to stock up on their inventory to get their product details page up, and perfected and I guess approved by Amazon or whatever is needed, right, in order to get things going? Is this enough time, really?
I guess, well, I guess that's a question that's specific to each and every brand. I believe, every brand is a little different. Every brand has their challenges and pain points. I mean, every brand has either an in-house team or a team that they're outsourcing to do this type of work here. Some of them have small catalogs, some of them have large catalogs, some of them may have two products they're selling on Amazon, and I work with a brand that's selling over 150,000 products
Wow.
on Amazon. So to go in there and look at, all of that, that should have started a long time ago, because one thing to count on is we might not know what day Prime Day is going to be on until it actually gets closer to those actual days. But one thing we know for certain, Prime Day is going to happen. Prime Day is coming. So that's really up for the brand to make that decision. But when it comes to inventory, depending on what products, yes, that is enough time. You need to get going on that now. One of the things that I used to do as a rule of thumb is I start way in advance. Start as early as I possibly can based on the data and insights that I have to make a decision based on how much inventory we're going to need, what type of deals that I can go ahead and start submitting applications for, with the potential and having backup plans. If it didn't get approved, what is the backup plan with that? Because you already have, inventory at Amazon. You had already, started stocking up. And then what is your drawdown? What is your drawdown strategy? So say, for example, if you shipping, let's say, 10 times the amount of inventory to Amazon to account for that pre-sales velocity, and after Prime Day is over, let's just say it was a flop for your brand. Well, you still got a lot of that inventory left there. So these are all the things from a risk assessment that I'm actually going through, and that every brand should go through, to determine, if Prime Day is an opportunity to drive revenue, but that may not be applicable or work out in the way that it was thought out for every brand. So you got to have a contingency plan just in case something goes wrong. So I had some drawdown plans as well. So say, for example, we normally ship in, for example, inventory to Amazon, every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or whatever that cadence looks like for your particular brand. And then I will, whatever that cadence is, well, we may not have to ship in this month because we got, a lot of inventory left over from Prime Day that we didn't use. We may not have to ship. So these are different types of strategies that you have to kind of go through, not just strategies on how to drive increased revenue, drive increased profitability, and drive increased market share. When you're working with an account as sophisticated as Amazon, you have to have contingency plans just in case something goes wrong.
Right. So that actually brings up a really good point. Even if you stock up on inventory, it could potentially be a really bad Prime Day for you. There are a lot of there's storage fees. There are other types of fees involved. Being a part of, especially with a part of Amazon FBA, right? And also vendors, vendors also have to pay lots of fees with regards to the inventory that they give to Amazon. You need to account for both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, correct? So how can brands ensure that they really do that so that they don't, really get screwed over by this 2-day holiday? It's like when Macy's, prepares for Christmas Day. Not Christmas Day, obviously, but like the week or 25 days before Christmas. It's just like unbelievable the amount of preparation that goes in to ensure that everything is in stock, that everything is there, and this, that, whatever. But it's different because the way that Macy's works is very different from Amazon. And mind you, I'm talking about any type of store. They're going to make sure that they have the stuff in stock, and if they don't have it in stock, someone else is going to have it in stock. Amazon is very different. Amazon, it's not that like one store here is going to have it, but the other store over there is not going to have it. And Amazon, if Amazon doesn't have it in stock, they're not going to sell it. If people aren't on top of the game, the inventory is not going to be there. What are you going to do? But at the same time, if you load up on inventory, right, and you send it to and you send it to Amazon's warehouses and stuff, and it doesn't get sold, that's a lot of money out of your pocket now that you're going to have to deal with. So, what is the best practice here for determining best case and worst case scenarios on this 2 day holiday?
And that is a very important point that you just made there because, and that goes to your overall P&L strategy. Because when you have a lot of inventory that's just sitting at any really, it just have to be at Amazon. That's expenses sitting somewhere else.
Right.
So those dollars do add up. But when you ship in a certain amount of products, for example, to Amazon for Prime Day, you're anticipating that this right here is going to be a major holiday, but maybe for whatever reason you didn't do something right, or someone didn't show up at work, or you know, or it was just a pure flop for you. Although anything could happen. Uh, then, as I said before, Amazon is a sophisticated marketplace, so you have to have a sophisticated strategy to go with that. So you have to have a strategy that drives revenue, and you have to have a contingency plan, on just in case revenue does not increase, or you're not pushing unit velocity as you anticipated that you would. So you have to have a strategy if it's something, and that's kind of what I was talking about a few moments ago. Even even if my goal is to drive revenue, increase revenue, and I'm going to do a good job at that. But just in case, for whatever reason, something goes wrong or something don't go as planned, you have to have a backup plan or a contingency plan to move through that inventory, to hit your sales goals if you don't hit your sales goal, to continue to drive revenue, or for whatever reason, you have to have a backup plan. So that right there is less on Amazon and more on the brand to really have a strategy put together for those particular reasons. And each
Right.
brand or each company, like I said earlier, they have, different challenges and different pain points. And each company, the dynamics of those companies are different. So every, brand owner or every leader of a particular Amazon business has to be running that type of risk assessment um, when it comes to your P&L strategy, um, to really make sure that you're ready and prepared to drive revenue. But if something goes wrong, you're ready and prepared to deal with it. If not, when it comes to preparing for Prime Day, you need to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. When it comes to that, make sure that if you're having any brand registry issues, have those issues resolved. Because those issues may cause a lot of problems with wrong sellers, or you not having the right access to the right tools on your product detail page to actually maximize and convert on all the traffic that's coming on Prime. And therefore, that translates to
Right.
sales and purchases. So you need to make sure that your duck is in a row. All the challenges and pain points that we were talking about, all of that needs to be worked out in advance, but or at least on your hero products or your products that drive some majority of revenue at any given time, so that you don't run into any issues when it comes to Prime Day. So Prime Day is a strategy within itself. So that strategy needs to be sophisticated. That strategy needs to have a contingency plan. That strategy needs to take into consideration the variation of things that could happen on Prime Day. So you want to make sure that you prepare for it. It's just like you're going to war. You got to be able to be ready for every scenario.
As you just reminded me that last year after my sister's turned 31, and I apologize to her that I just told everyone her age, and because 31 is a prime number, I decided to buy her an Optimus Prime, black magic card, whatever the magic, the gathering card, something similar to that. And it had like so many prime nuances on it. I just thought it was a really funny story. Um, like it reminded me that the fact that I did actually purchase something on Prime Day. Mind you, I never do because Prime doesn't arrive to where I live. But even so, Prime gives the opportunity to people to purchase things, send it to somewhere else, and then someone can hopefully, bring it to them, or, whenever, if they are in the States, great, like they can get it really fast. But with that in mind, is Prime Day a really good day? Mind you, obviously talking about way advanced, preparation. So this is not the time, to be doing this. But is Prime Day a great day to feature a new product?
It is. That is the best day to feature. It's a really good question. That is the best day to feature a new product. And here is why. On Prime Day, it is just like, Cyber Monday and, Black Friday and all the days in and around. There's that's this high traffic day. So Amazon has the most traffic out of all the e-commerce platforms. And even on that day, it's gonna be that traffic is gonna be locked and loaded on that day, on those days. So they're gonna be ready. So it is the biggest opportunity to showcase, new products, because once those products have all the following all the best practices, I'm not saying just throw something up there and hope you get some sales. I do not like that. But make sure once you done put the right strategy on those products, you got the right marketing, you got everything on the best, the PDP or the product detail page is rock solid. And you have you got your necessary reviews, and now you got some advertisement being spent behind it. You got a good advertisement budget there going on. That is the best day to see sales, because you have so much more traffic on that platform, and you're guaranteed to sell that product. Because any other day, you're going to have good traffic on Amazon regardless. But on that day, or those days, you're going to have amazing traffic on Amazon. And when the best time to introduce, I'm glad you brought this topic up because it's into new product launches. The best time to launch new products are on Amazon. Now, it may be different from any other platform, but on Amazon, it's on Prime Day or major holidays for one primary reason. You have the most traffic on that platform on those particular days. And the best time to introduce new products is when you have a ton of traffic out there, because that enhances the, the the chance or the opportunity that customers are going to buy that product, or it enhances the opportunities that customers are going to purchase a lot of that particular product just because of that increased traffic. So that is the best time to launch new products. And even if you want to run a promotion on that, that particular product, just to give it extra visibility, promotions and deals are very uh, are tools on Amazon. I don't look at it as a necessity. I look at it as a tool that you can use for a particular strategy. Because when you're looking at deals, say for example, you're looking at coupons, you're looking at lightning deals, you're looking at deals of the day. These products have their own landing page. So these products are, are, are put into the eyes, not just the general shoppers on Amazon, but it's put into the eyes of shoppers that are just looking for discount, just looking for products on the coupon page, just looking at products on the deal page. Because in a challenging economy, everyone's coming like, okay, I need this, I need that, but I need it at the best price. You know where they come? They come to Amazon. So they're going to those specific pages to look for those type of products at those particular prices. Always remember, and Amazon will tell you best price is the best driver on Amazon. That's one of the other areas that they have their competition beat at. So when it comes to new product launches, yes, uh, launching that on major holidays and Prime Day specifically is the best time out of the year to launch new products on Amazon.
So with that in mind, how far in advance do companies need to start, I guess, preparing that this new product is going to be launched on Prime Day or holidays? I'm assuming that one, they need to be approved. They need to make sure that they get into the warehouse, whether it's even on Amazon prior to Prime Day or not. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. So, how far in advance and what steps should be taken during that time period in order to get the best launch for the product on Prime Day?
Well, I go by a little philosophy. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. So when it comes to new product launches on Amazon, it's best to be early, as early as you possibly can when it comes to launching new products, because that gives you time to work out all the kinks. Say for example, you're in
Right.
advertising and you got certain keywords that are working, certain are not, and that discovery phase. Then that also gives you time to kind of optimize and make that work in the best interest of that item as much as possible. But it also gives you the opportunity to build sales velocity uh, and, and drive unit velocity simultaneously. So Amazon is looking at that when it comes to whether your product can be can run on certain these deals on Prime Day or days before, days after Prime Day. So it's best to have a little bit of sales history, a little bit of unit history, and just overall product history on Amazon. And that gives Amazon a little bit more information or data, gives them more data to work with. Because just like I said, one of the ways that I've been successful on Amazon is because I think like Amazon. And when I'm working with brands, as we talked about before, data is very important. But Amazon is also looking at that data. They're looking at the same, they're just looking at it in different ways versus what we're looking at. And they got their more data to work with. So data is very important. So when it comes to that, having that product on Amazon early or in advance to Prime Day or is the best strategy. And if you want me to give you a number, just a rough number, and maybe 3 to 5 months in advance.
That's more in advance than I do anything in. So, which companies, which types of companies, or even categories of companies should not even bother to deal with Amazon Prime Day? They shouldn't submit any applications. They shouldn't be looking, forward to it or going towards it. They should just be, we're focusing on our business the way it is. We move forward.
Well, I think every brand understands or should understand the dynamics of their brand. But one of the ways to answer that particular question is to look at customer sentiment or consumer sentiment right now and just anywhere, just kind of based on how the world economy is, and more specifically the American economy. And so when you're looking at, customers are more focused on, necessities versus things that they wanted to buy in the past. They're holding on to every dollar or thinking very put more thought towards each dollar that they spend. These high price products, no. I'm not saying not to go, drive revenue because you may see some sales velocity on Amazon. Amazon is that type of platform. You may not see something. Some brands are going to sell more than others, and some brands are going to sell just enough, and some brands ain't going to sell anything. It depends on what category. I think depending on your brand and the dynamics of your brand, you're going to fall into one of those categories. You're going to sell a ton of products on Prime Day. You're going to sell an okay amount. You're going to sell what you normally sell, or may not sell any at all. And I'm just being very transparent with that. So depending on the dynamics of your brand and the type of products that you actually sell is really going to speak more loudly to that question. But higher price products in this economy, customers are not going that way anymore. Well, not right now. They're looking for things that are less expensive. They're looking for products that are cheaper. As you can see what's going on even in Walmart and Target, they're specifically Target, they're coming down on these prices. They're issuing certain discounts on a variety of different products. Walmart is doing the same thing. You got some of these fast food chains that are saying we're going to have to do something different. Our customer spending habits are changing. And that applies to Amazon too. I mean, when you see customers spending habits change at a Dollar Tree, at a Dollar General, or even a Walmart, or even a Target, that is something to pay attention to because it's not just happening on, at those retailers. It's happening everywhere. So to be able to on those particular days, you're gonna have some products that outsell others. You're gonna have some products that don't sell any at all. But some of the best, products that are gonna be successful in those days are products that are at good prices. They're in that, 10, 20, $30. Anything less than $50, it's gonna be okay when it comes to Amazon Prime Day. And that's either that's gonna be with you're going to have some discounts on those products. The customers that we have now for any brand are not the same customers that we had in 2020. We had in 2021 when people were just sitting at home and not spending they had extra cash just sitting around. We're in a different economy, so things change. So customers with more affordable uh, products. Those are going to be the products that thrive on Prime Day and even probably thrive during the holiday season.